stand out in the crowd because I'm black and all of the students that were in there were black. So I'm going to just step in and no one's going to bat an eyelid. So I stepped in. And what it was the Association of African Caribbean Society Leaders. All young black people who were aspiring to see what it was that they could do to make their African Caribbean societies better, right? How they can get better representation in their universities. But I want to tell you another story. Now, can you recognize anyone in the picture behind us? Can we dim the lights a bit so you can dim the lights on? Can you recognize anyone?
Yes.
Who?
She. That's in glasses, isn't it?
No. Where?
At the back.
At the back?
Yes.
All right, good. Right? Does everyone see that? Yeah? Mary is just at the back there.
At the back, yeah.
Yeah? Here, this is Professor Julie McCanny. Now, we were talking about sickle cell earlier on. She is a world leading expert at sickle cell. She's from Tanzania, and when we're talking about connecting stem cell research and stuff in Africa, she is the person they go to, right? She's done some amazing work. And we've had the privilege of having her here at Imperial for the past 2.5 years, okay? And she's been working with us. And this was an initiative. Now, I need to say something. I don't want this to sound bad, right? I need to say something. Sometimes people don't recognize their potential. And sometimes people put themselves in positions which isn't the right position for them. It doesn't actually showcase their potential, what they're able to do. Now, I'm referring to somebody who you guys have already identified, right? But I'm not going to say any more than that just yet. Now, why have I showed you this picture? Because on the 8th of April this year, I took a group of students to the Royal National Hotel in central London because I wanted to do a research activity to let other young people, teenagers, recognize that Imperial College is a place where they can come, where they can belong. Okay? That was the objective. And so, as I was doing that, I had met some young medical students over across from here. This is the engineering building. But the building across there, which is the Sir Alexander Fleming building, okay, I'd met some young students and I'd spoken to them and I said, would you guys like to come with me to this event? They said, yeah, we'll come. And so I said, all right, have you got any friends who you might want? Because I had spoken to 2 of them. And I said, is there anyone else who might want to come? They said, yeah, we've got some. So on the day they sent me, and there was about 8 young medical students who came, right? Black medical students here at Imperial College, right? So we were then given the story. I had them as a panel, like we had the panel, and they were giving their experiences. And as they were giving their experience, one of the young ladies said, I have sickle cell, right? I have sickle cell. Remember I said she's a medical student, so she's gonna be a doctor. And she said, I chose to come to Imperial because I chose to come to Imperial. She said, I wanted to do medicine because I've got this disease. I wanted to understand how we could better do it. And Imperial is a brilliant place for me to come to do that. And I had my aspirations to do that. So we were then walking out, we'd done the presentation, and we then came out and they had prepared a picture of the research which we were doing at Imperial. And when I looked on the picture, I saw this, right? And then I looked at the student, and I looked at the picture, I looked at the student, I looked at the picture, and I said, Angela, is that you? And so she ran round the desk, right? Sorry. Someone's got the mic.
Switch off the mic.
Yeah. Right? Someone, so she was there, right? She ran round the desk from where she was, And she looked on the picture, and this young lady right here is Angela. Now, Angela came to Imperial College. Here, she's about 14 years old. Who invited her to come to Imperial College? Here is Mary. Mary had organized an event because she recognized the needs of the community. And she recognized the expertise which was here in this community. And she connected the people from one community to another community, and now she has joined as a member of our medical school, as our alumni. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about going on a journey, going on Japa, that journey of self-improvement, going to somewhere else. You're going to somewhere else where you're able to find that self-improvement, right? So what we're talking about here, when we're talking about the Nigerian Students' Union UK, and when we're talking about here at Imperial College, Imperial has a number of initiatives. We do have a hardship fund. We do have the space, and we are creating spaces for students of all, whether undergraduates, whether postgraduates, whether PhD students, to come and join and work with us so that we can go on that journey, go on that ability to self-improvement. I will say this to you guys. When I was that age, I looked at Imperial College and I thought to myself, they only one. I wanted to do medicine, and at the time I'm old, so they didn't do medicine in them days, right? So it wasn't even on my radar, right? But the people who I did know who were applying to Imperial College, they were the geniuses in the class, right? That was my perception, right? That was my perception. And what I want to get across to you is actually, yes, the people who you will be coming in and will be working with, they are very clever. But you know what? So are you. And don't underestimate what it is that you have. Because you can be stood right here in front. If I can do it, you can do it. There is nothing to stop you from achieving that personal development, that personal potential which you have. Okay? And so when I see the people here, right, I know that you have been on a journey. I know that this journey doesn't stop here. I know that together we can make that journey into something even more special. So keep believing, keep understanding that actually this is a place where I belong. I'm going to just leave you with one thing, which is a picture. Because you had asked earlier on, this one here. Okay? This man here, Ayola, he has for the past 20 years, he has been producing this, which is Sickle World News. Okay? I had the privilege of interviewing him as part of our Black History Month, and we were doing a sickle cell special. The interview, you can see that here. And it was an amazing story about a man who, yes, I don't want to give a spoiler, but let's just say he had a lot of brothers and sisters, right? His dad had 13 wives. I won't say any more than that, right?